Okay, we are going to be telling time today to the nearest 5 minutes. Okay, so let's start with our launch. Our launch is we are going to be looking at this clock over here and answering this question. So Alex thinks this clock shows 2:55. Damaya thinks this clock shows 3:55. Who is right? How do you know? And we're not going to answer it just yet, but I want to remind you to look at your hour hand and your minute hand. So be thinking about this question as we move on today. Okay, so for our facilitate, we are going to be looking at a couple of times on the clock. And let's review real quick some time. So we have the shorthand is an hour, the longhand means the minute, the tick marks on the clock are by 1, and each big number is by 5. So we have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. If my minute hand is on the 12, it is going to be o'clock. Okay. If my minute hand is on the 6, it is going to be 30. Okay. 3 is 15, and the 9 is 45. So let's look at some different times. So if you have a piece of paper and a pencil with you, I encourage you to try practicing writing these times as we go on. So let's look at the hour hand on this one. So the hour hand is in between the 10 and the 11. It's not quite on the 11, so that tells me it has to be 10 o'clock. So hopefully you wrote 10 as your hour. Okay, and let's look at our minute hand. So we have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. I counted by 5s, which is our goal for today. Okay, so that is 10, 25. So notice how when our minute hand goes up by 5s, our hour hand continues to move up the clock. Okay, so let's look at this time right here. So my hour hand is pointing, it's still in between the 10 and the 5. It's not quite all the way on the 11 yet. Okay, so the hour still has to be 10. So hopefully you're writing this down as we go. Okay, so the hour is still 10, so let's look at our minute hand. So I know that the 6 is 30 minutes. So I'm going to start there. So 35, 40, 45, 50. So it is 10:50. All right, so let's go back to that question that we had at the beginning. So let's read it again. Alex thinks this clock shows 2:55. Damaya thinks this clock shows 3:55. So we're trying to figure out who is right and why. Okay, so let's first look at Alex, what he thinks. He thinks it is 2:55. I'm noticing they both think that the minute is 55. So we're trying to figure out the difference in the hours. Who is correct? Is it 2:55 or 3:55? Okay, so let's look at our clock. So I know that the hour hand is not quite on the 3. It's almost on the 3, but not quite. And I know from practicing with the clock before that if I keep moving this minute hand, the hour hand is going to move down a little bit. Okay, so I'm thinking it's not quite on the 3, so I don't think it could be 3:55. I don't think Damaya is correct. So Alex thinks it is 2:55. I agree with him because the hour hand is not quite on the 3 yet. So I believe that Alex is correct. And for more practice with this, you can practice a telling time game on this website.